was like 4 or 5, but I have 7 this time. So I'm really, really excited. I have some great books to share and talk about, but before we get started, if you're not already subbed to the channel, I would so appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and in the comments let me know which book gave you the best tingles. Let me know which book you would like to read, or if you've read any of these books, I'd love to know your thoughts. So let's get started. I tried to put them in order of like my most favorite to least favorite, which is obviously really hard. I did enjoy most of these books, but I tried to put them in some order. Okay, first one is The Arrangement. The Arrangement by Kirsten Modglin. I think that's how you say it. So I've read this book for the July book club that I'm part of. Now let me tell you, this is very much up there in like my most favorite book out of these, or like in the top 2 to 3. Again, it's hard to pick like one favorite book, but this is up there. It's a quick, easy read. Like, I think I had to stop myself and slow myself down because I didn't want to forget about it by the time book club rolled around. But like, easily you could read this in like 2 to 3 days. Easy. And I didn't realize until I got to the end that it's part of a trilogy, so I definitely will be picking up with the second book. So essentially in this book you have Ainsley and Peter, and they're married, and they're not super happy in their relationship, and they come to an agreement that they can go on dates with other people. They can go on one date once a week. They don't talk about it, like that's the arrangement, but then something terrible happens, and through uncovering what happened, they learn a lot about each other, and there's a lot of secrets, betrayal, craziness that you would not see coming. I don't want to give away too much, but this is a very, very good thriller that you do not see what's coming at the end. Like, no way. So I definitely recommend this book, and I hope that the second book is as good. So yeah, I'm excited to continue this trilogy. Alright, so that is the first book, and one of my favorites out of this. Next up, it wouldn't be a book haul of mine without a Frida McFadden title. The queen of thriller and suspense. So this is One by One. One by One by Frida McFadden. So at this point, I've probably read about 8 of her books, and they're so good. So this story follows a group of friends, 3 couples, 3 or 4 couples, and they are going on a vacation, like a cabin in the woods of Colorado, and their van breaks down along the way, and they don't have cell reception, so they get out and they hope that they're like a mile or 2 away from the hotel, and they don't find it. They get lost. People start dying. It's pretty intense. And again, with most Frida books, you do not see the ending coming. She is the master of twists and like really good endings. So I would definitely recommend this book. It's a really good one. Now that I'm like remembering it again, because I think I finished this like a month ago, 2 weeks ago actually. And it's pretty good. So I'll try to do ratings now to the rest of them. So this one is like a 4. I give this like 4.5 stars. And this I would give 4 stars. Yeah. Alright, next book. A little bit of a detour from my usual. I decided to pick up like a rom-com summer romance book because we spent a week in Croatia the last week in August, and I wanted something like beachy and fun to read while I was there. So I picked up The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. The Summer of Broken Rules. This was a good book, like a solid rom-com, like summer setting book. It follows this girl, Meredith, and I think she's about like 19 in the story, and she lost her sister a year and a half ago. And, you know, she has gone through a really tough time. She lost her only sibling. Her and her sister were really close. But now, this summer, a year and a half later, she's like ready to like try to become herself again. And so her and her family return to Martha's Vineyard for their annual family vacation because they're gathering for a big summer wedding. Her cousin is getting married. And there's like this game that the whole family plays. It's called Assassin. And so that's going to take place over the whole week. And her sister used to be really good at this game. And so Meredith really wants to win in honor of her sister. And then she forms an alliance with one of the groomsmen. And of course, you know, they start falling for each other. And so this follows the story of going through grief. She's going through a breakup as well, falling in love again, you know, all of those good topics. But what I liked about this is that like it didn't feel like a typical romantic novel to me. I don't know, like I can't give away the ending, but it's a So it follows a group of friends, and they've just graduated high school, and they're gonna have one last summer hurrah together before they all go off to college. And so it's a group of girls and guys getting all together, but everyone is hiding something. So the main character, Riley, she's hiding her past to fit in. Sebastian, who is a soccer player, is hiding his feelings for Riley. And someone is hiding what really happened to Jordan Chang, a classmate that mysteriously died last summer. So then, like, friends start disappearing from the group, and they get trapped in their rental house because there's a hurricane. And again, people are going missing, and yeah, it's not a good situation. So this was a good book, but I wasn't, like, I read it quickly, but I can't say it was like my favorite. The ending is interesting, and it is like a good twist. So I'd give this like I'd probably give this a 3.5. Not my favorite thriller, but a pretty good one. Like a fun, quick read, like a solid book, but I've read better thrillers than this one. But I like the cover a lot. It's really cool. But again, like another quick read, like it was very captivating. So again, like it is a good book. But I wouldn't say it's like a 4-star. Okay. Then we have The Keeper of Hidden Books. The Keeper of Hidden Books by Madeline Martin. Now, some of this book, I was reading it out by the pool in Scottsdale at 110 degrees, and I think the spine glue melted because half of the book came out. Anyways, my mother-in-law gave me this book because she finished reading it, and this is a really good one. This is a World War II book, and so it follows a girl, well, two girls really, and her best friend is Jewish, and they both love books. They work in the library, and then eventually her friend, who is Jewish, ends up, going into the ghetto, and they're separated. But this story really follows dealing with all the books that were being banned in Poland. The Nazis banned any book that had any thoughts that they did not agree with. And so the main character, Sophia, it goes through her working in the library and trying to hide and protect as many books as possible. So it's a really cool book. Like, if you enjoy books, which most of you reading this probably do, it was a really nice story. I cried, I laughed. It's a really nice read. So I would probably give this close to a 4-star rating. It was a different perspective on World War II, and I've read a lot of World War II books, and this was definitely a unique story to follow. And yeah, it is inspired by the true story of the underground library in Warsaw, so that's really cool. I like reading, most World War II books are inspired by true events. All right, a few more left. This next book is Anxious People by Frederick Backman. Anxious People. So this was my first book by Frederick Backman, who he also wrote A Man Called Ove, which I know is really popular now because of the movie. So his writing is definitely a very interesting style, and it really did captivate me in the beginning, but I did feel like towards the middle it felt like it was dragging a bit, but the ending was really nice. So again, probably like a three and a quarter, maybe 3.5. Like overall a good story, but I remember like for a portion in the middle, I wasn't excited to pick up the book and read it. I kind of had to force myself to get through some parts. So, but it was overall a good story, just a little bit hard in the beginning. In the middle, I feel like it was like just dragging on a bit too much in the middle. So basically, I'll read the back because I don't think I'll explain it good enough. Looking at real estate isn't usually a life or death situation, but an apartment open house becomes just that when a failed bank robber bursts in and takes a group of 8 strangers hostage. Each of them carries a lifetime of grievances, hurts, secrets, and passions that are ready to boil over. None of them is entirely who they appear to be. In short, they are the worst group of hostages in the world. But as the minutes tick by, they begin to suspect that the criminal mastermind holding them hostage might be more in need of rescuing than they are. As the authorities and the media surround the premises, these reluctant allies will reveal surprising truths about themselves and set in motion a chain of events so unexpected that even they can hardly explain what happens next. So it is a pretty interesting story, but just not my favorite. It's called When She Was Me by Marley Bush. When She Was Me. So this is like a thriller mystery book, and it follows twin sisters, Cassie and Lenora, and they live out in the woods in a cabin, like isolated campground in Tennessee, and they want to stay hidden because they were part of like a tragedy that happened when they were kids, so they want to stay away from probing eyes, journalists, crime junkies, etc. But then the cabin that they're at, there's like a few other cabins that can get rented out, and then a teenage girl goes missing at the cabin next to them, and all these memories come rushing back. So they like work together to like figure out what happened and then figure out the truth. This was a good book, but the ending just kind of ruined it for me. When I hate when that happens. Overall, it was a good book. I enjoyed reading it. It was interesting. I didn't really know what was going on, but then that ending just, it was not really what I like 2 stories